It might be recording on your end. Is it recording on your side, everyone?
Yep.
All right. So we're going to welcome you back to the Principals Podcast. Today is January 20th. This is episode 22 of season 3. We are talking wrestling today. And it's going to be very exciting because we have a returning guest. Alex McDonald is joining us today. We have Mrs. Bondi from her office, not in the building. We'll just leave it at that. Mr. Hyam is here. And so today we're going to be talking with Alex. So, Alex, I would like you to say hello to everyone so everyone can see the beautiful hair that you are presenting to us today.
Hello, everyone. This is my hair. I have an afro.
So, Alex, we always love talking with you. We love talking actually with your sister when she was a student here and all the great gold. It was
Gold
the
Award.
Girls Gold Star Award or project, basically the Eagle Scout for girls. And she put
Yeah.
in the railing at the stadium, and she worked a lot with Mr. Hyam for a fundraiser. And we absolutely love your parents. They are rock stars. You transitioned from a brutal consecutive football seasons, and then you go right into wrestling every single year. How long have you wrestled?
Since second grade. So this was like my 10th year.
So, since there's only two people on this podcast that really know much about wrestling, at least the high school version of wrestling, the rest of us we like WWE, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, Goldberg, all that type of stuff. Wrestling, the kind that makes money, not the one that's actually a physical sport. What weight class do you start off at that age? Like, do you just, I'm a wrestler and you look like the exact same size as me, so we wrestle? Like, what is the classification for you at that?
So their weight classes, they vary from youth to middle school to high school. Obviously, they get heavier and heavier and heavier. The weight class I wrestled in second and third grade was 73 pounds.
73 pounds, which is
Yeah.
currently the weight of your hair, which you actually got several inches cut off.
I did.
And I would say that
I couldn't figure out if the camera was making it look smaller or if it actually got smaller.
Yeah, I got some cut off, so it's easier to put my headgear on for wrestling.
I mean, I was always amazed, like, how did you fit that all in your football helmet? Like, were there ever times when you're like, this isn't going to go on?
I mean, I'd wear a headband, so when I pull my football helmet down, my hair wouldn't get in my face. So, I mean, that's about all precautionary measures I took.
Got it.
Did you ever have a day, either in football or wrestling, that after you take off your headgear, your helmet, that there was a permanent indent of like, this is my new style for the next couple of hours?
I mean, it's usually like the style till I get home and shower. But I mean, yeah, there's been times where it's been stuck for a while.
So I remember first meeting you when you were in 8th grade, and it was in the summer, and you were doing football camps, and I think it was probably Dinko running it with, a few other people, and I'm like, wow, this kid has some sweet hair. And you were probably like a 6 foot, 160, 70 pound kid.
Yeah.
In like 8th grade.
Yep.
And obviously you've grown up to be a young man. This specific year for wrestling, what weight class are you wrestling at for this year?
So I weigh 245, but I wrestle heavyweight, which goes all the way up to 285.
And so talk to all of the novices of wrestling, what that could look like on a mat between wrestling heavyweight, you weighing 245, and what the bodies could look like up to 285, and the physicality difference.
So obviously, if you have a short guy who's really heavy, he's gonna look like a bowling ball. And I mean, those guys are usually not that physical. But I mean, most of the time, most guys I've faced so far about a little bit like as tall as me or a little bit taller than me, and they weigh maybe like 15, 30 pounds more, and they just look like they got a little extra baby fat.
So talk to us about wrestling in general. Coach Sal has been a part of this program for as long as I'm aware of. And when I was a student here, it was Dick Deppenbrock, along with we had I think it was Danny Anderson was a state champion wrestler when I was here. Obviously, you wrestle in a significant location, the Lee Kemp Room, who is absolute like rock star in the eyes of so many, not only just wrestlers, but just in Chardon alumni, and then just
Yeah.
nationally known for his work. Talk to us about the season, the program, what you guys been working on, some of the various places you've gone so far this year.
I mean, the season's gone pretty rough. We got a lot of young kids. I mean, we only got like a couple, like 5 seniors and juniors totally. But it's got a bright future with all the young kids that are learning. They're really good. And I can just see they just need to take that next step just to get better. I mean, and so I missed like the first like couple meets of the season because of the football season, obviously. But the first meet I went to was the Kenston Invitational Tournament. I took second there. As a team, I don't think we did that great. We had 3 or 4 kids plays. And then after that, we went to Perrysburg, and that is a haul, and that is one of the hardest tournaments in Ohio. Coach Sal actually said it's harder than the state tournament. So we didn't have anybody place there, unfortunately. And then that's been about it. That's as far as we've traveled, really.
So you've had a lot of athletes in the wrestling program that you were able to look up to for your entire existence. You know, you obviously looked up to football players. Now you are looked at as one of the football players to look at. What's the difference between when you look up to growing up, you know, in the football program, now you're that guy, but you're looking up to all of the phenomenal wrestlers that you've literally were in the same room with, who are at the collegiate level. Are you able to see some of those people, even maybe yourself, becoming kind of that mentor? Because there's been state placers in the sense of going back to all of the various years. Obviously, we had a Spider Monkey on the mat for years that everyone looked up to in Hamulac. But we had Hall there. And then last year, we had, help me out. He's helping me out.
Jaden Ferris.
Yeah, Jaden Ferris, who's probably one of the hardest working guys I've ever met in the wrestling mat. So are there guys looking up to each other? Because you have Kaz that's coming back. You have some other guys coming back. Talk to us about who's taking the next steps to become that person.
I feel like there's definitely people looking up to other people. I mean, Kaz, everybody, like I know a lot of the younger kids look up to Kaz because his wrestling style is so unique, and it just always works for him. It's crazy. But most of the freshmen are actually like, they stay after practice, they get extra work in. They just want to get better. They don't want to lose anymore. They just want to keep getting better.
I'm going to transition to a wrestling coach, a wrestler, a guy that actually helps out the program significantly, putting on several of the local tournaments here at the high school. Ms. Trium, show is yours.
So I got a few questions for you, Alex, and then I got a little chicken steak. I'm going to mix it up. Alex, I think it's well documented. The football team has won a few state titles recently, back-to-back. But I also think some people don't know the history of the wrestling program here at Chardon, the number of state champions, and to have an individual like Lee Kemp be from Chardon and be well represented, be on the Olympic team. What does it mean to you to be part of 2, well-respected programs here at Chardon? What does that mean to you?
It means like the world to me. It's amazing that we have like teams and legacies like that. Obviously, our coaches are amazing. I think we have the best coaches in Ohio for both wrestling and football. And it's crazy that like you look at other wrestling teams with like way more kids. There's like they have like 2 coaches. Meanwhile, we have like 4 coaches and like 5 others that can help out. So
you're a guy that's right there in the middle on the football field. I mean, you're one of the grinders, one of those guys in the trenches. As a wrestler, you're right there. It's man versus man. What sport do you think is tougher and why?
Wrestling, 100% is tougher because it's often described as a 6-minute sprint. That is, if you have to go the whole match to win. But it's just a completely different beast because you have to be in way better physical shape. Like, you can be like slightly out of shape playing football because you get those like 20, 10, 20, 15-second breaks in between plays. But wrestling, it's go, go, go all the time. So you got to be in like your best shape.
You know, they talk about brotherhoods and sisterhoods with a lot of sports. There is a special brotherhood for wrestlers, isn't there?
Yeah, I would say there is because we go into that wrestling room and it's just like it's a grind. Like nobody's friends in the wrestling room. But as soon as practice is over, we're all brothers. We just want to make each other better whenever practice is going on.
And I don't think a lot of people know how many of the football coaches are former wrestlers and some of the things that they have. Would they kind of tell you a few stories like Coach Hall or Coach Hewitt about their wrestling days?
Coach Hall actually told me that he wrestled Coach Luke Fickle, at the state tournament when he was a senior, I think. Yeah, he told me about that. So that was pretty sweet.
And Coach Hewitt was a wrestler. He'll tell you he was a wrestler his freshman year. That gets to one of the chicken and steak questions.
Hey, listen, let's pause that for Paul. Pause for a moment. You said Coach Hall and Luke Fickle. Luke Fickle is probably 6'3", 185, and Coach Hall is probably 6'2", more than 185. What weight class did he wrestle in?
You know, things change over the years.
They wrestled heavyweight, I'm pretty sure. That's what Coach Hall told me. He wrestled heavyweight.
So you're saying Luke Fickle did the reverse climb. He actually dropped weight.
Yeah. Luke Fickle was a special. I saw him wrestle in high school. He was as close to untouchable as I've seen a high school wrestler be. There was not many people, and I'll say this, I didn't see anyone score a point against him. They may have had points on the board, but Luke gave them those points. So he was, and then here's the thing, he didn't even wrestle in college. He went and played football at Ohio State, and look where he's at. But he was that good, and I think Alex, you would agree, the wrestling room has made you a better football player. Would you say that?
100%. Because going from the end of wrestling season, which ends right about late February, early March, you're going straight into spring workouts, and it's like you're in way better shape than everybody else.
So when the kid says, "Hey, I'm not going to wrestle, I'm not going to do indoor track because I got to get in the weight room," and they're an 8th grader, 9th grader saying that, what would you tell them?
I would say get faster first, because it takes a lot longer to get faster and get in shape than to get bigger, because you can always put on size. You just eat more and lift more, but getting faster and getting in shape takes a while.
So one of the questions for you, and I just kind of let you know that Coach Hewitt was a wrestler. Who would you want to wrestle in front of the student body, Coach Hewitt or myself?
Well, I've wrestled you before, and we know how that's went. So, I'd rather wrestle Coach Hewitt. New challenge.
Do you really want to go there on the actual result of what happened with you and I? Do you want us to let everyone know what happened?
We had
or do you want to keep that between ourselves?
We had a gentleman's agreement to keep that between ourselves.
All right. You know what? I respect that, and that's what I will do. Back in the old days, and Murray, this was a long time ago, when I wrestled, there was a hair rule. Actually, they would come and check your hair, the length, and everything else. Alex, what would you have done if that hair rule was still in place?
I'd wear one of those skull caps. I did it when I was in youth because that hair rule was in place for a while, but ever since then I've been fine.
So I got a couple more, Mert, and then I'll send it over to Bondi, who will ask the real important questions. What's a life skill that you believe you learned through wrestling that will apply to your life as you move forward away from us here at Chardon?
Don't be scared, because in a match you're always scared to. Well, some people have the fear of like taking the first shot and they miss or whatever. But if you're not scared to take that first shot, or if you're not scared to get tired and really gas yourself out, you're more likely gonna win. But if you're not scared in life, you'll do a lot better than somebody who's scared to like follow their dreams or open a business or start something.
So I'm going to leave you with this last one. I'll give you a moment to ponder on this. You talked about the great coaches you've been around through football and wrestling. And what's the best advice you've gotten from a coach, and who was that?
I would have to say probably Coach O. And he told me it was along the lines of like, never give up, because you're only as good as, like, if you have a mental block in your head, you're only that good. But if you just ignore your mental block, you'll unlock your true potential.
And Alex, I think you have an unbelievable future ahead of you. Hope you always come back and say hello to us. And just remember our gentleman's agreement.
Yes, thank you. I will.
I kind of think that's a little unfair, because I mean, if he beat you too badly, Mr. Hyam, you could, administer some repercussions or whatever.
You're assuming a lot, Miss Bondi. You're assuming a lot. And I won't speak of Alex because we have an agreement. But there is a former state qualifier that I did pin in less than 30 seconds that Alex was right there to witness.
Yeah.
I was there.
And Alex was there, and it did happen, Miss Bondi, and it was not a fluke.
And I will tell you that he actually had to go to the chiropractor the following week because his back was hurting so bad.
Is that why he was kind of pacing around the office?
This time of year, I do a lot of pacing. I think Alex knows what that's like when you see a coach, they pace.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of pacing. Yes.
Yeah. Alex, I just got to commend you, because obviously we can see all of your grades and academics. I mean, you're like not just an athlete, but your grades are phenomenal. How do you balance all of that?
I mean, it's really just time management. I got a lot of study halls this year, which I'm thankful for, which gives me the opportunity. As soon as I'm done with that class, I go do my homework, get help, whatever I need to do, and then go to my next class and just do the same thing over again. And I'm really lucky to have that. And I mean, it's just nice.
What do you think you're going to study, or what is your kind of plan after graduation?
To study in college, either I was thinking about going into an engineering field or going into business. I know those are two like almost completely different things, but it's between those two.
Nice. So I think looking at your grades, I mean, I think you can do anything you set your mind to. And hearing how good you are with wrestling, I obviously saw football in action, but I haven't made it to any wrestling yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I am, sad to see the hair has been cut down. When you look at your picture at Infinite Campus this year during picture time, I think you were at your hair. Yeah. It was phenomenal.
Alex, real quick, you talked about his future, Miss Bondi.
Yeah.
I actually was around Travis Kelce when he was at Cleveland Heights as a football player. I was helping out with the coaching there. Alex, don't give up on an opportunity to potentially play at that next level. You have similar size, similar speed as Travis Kelce. Don't put a roadblock up before someone tells you no. Keep getting bigger and faster, and we could be seeing you on Sundays. And remember the three of us when you're coming to town for tickets.
Yeah, especially when you play for the black and gold.
The hair would fit in perfectly just with Troy. They would love him. Troy Polamalu.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! I said it right. Murray, did you hear that?
I did hear it. I did. Alex, you said something that that I want to ask you before we give our moments for gratitude. You said business and engineering. You have business and or engineering, et cetera, et cetera. You
Yeah.
took CCP business with Mr. Herner.
Yes.
Okay. What course do you feel that if we had, you would have taken in any of those areas? Like my point of asking this question is we're trying to build a program of studies and we're trying to create options for where we can build where we don't have. What's one thing that you wish that we offered? I mean, realistically, not like underwater basket weaving.
Yeah.
Realistically, that you're like, you know what? I want to do this. I wish they offered this so I could even see if I wanted to do this.
I think one of the cool classes is, or actually I got a couple because these are the classes my dad took in high school. Like he took wood shop and he also took automotive class, which I think those are just like basic life skills some people need to learn because they don't have the opportunity to be taught that. But then like for like an engineering class, I feel like like an intro to engineering, I guess, with like the math that you need and like for people to get like a feel for what it actually is.
That's awesome. And for our listeners out there, obviously we have some of those available at Auburn Career Center. Some of that used to be in the building. I believe Euclid High School had an automotive area. They had like a work garage for their kids because that's where Chaim went.
They had a garage. They had a garage as big as our school.
It was really,
Yeah, it was big. Big time.
now they have a school as big as a city block.
True.
So Alex, giving you the opportunity, along with all of us here, to give some gratitude. I think it's evident who you might be giving shout outs to in your household because you are the biggest lover of your family. So I'll let you go first.
Just want to shout out my mom and dad, my sister. I love them all. Shout out my girlfriend. Shout out all my people, all the people, like all my family that comes and supports me, even if it's like snowing or like the roads are horrible or it's just like I don't even have a match and they still come support. It's just awesome.
That is great. I am going to give a couple shout outs. One, I will never forget the conversation, and you might have been present, that I had your dad, your mom, my family. We sat at Home Depot in the outdoor section at a table and had a 25-minute conversation one day. We kind of just took shop and took it over like 4 years ago. It was amazing. So I love your family also. But this week in particular, I want to give a shout out to our entire custodial and maintenance staff that removed millions of pounds of snow to make it accessible for school yesterday. So my shout out goes out to them.
I agree.
I agree. I was keeping up with all of that in the district communication going out, and I just felt like they were doing a phenomenal job, and I'm so thankful we have them. I'm just gonna give a shout out to like my own kids' personal teachers this week. Obviously, my family's been ill, and we're just trying to get through it, and they've been phenomenal. And not that they watch this podcast, but I'm just really thankful for all the work that teachers do. Not only in our district, but outside of our district, and just for keeping everyone afloat at all times. Your teachers are phenomenal, Alex. I know you know that, but I think as you get older, you appreciate even more some of what they've done for you in your lifetime and what they continue to do as you have your own family someday and on down the line. So they're just irreplaceable.
So I'm going to say it anyways. You guys have said it, but the mains department for everything they did, it's just absolutely amazing. I think they cleared the snow better than ever. I know that's, it seemed like it's a never-ending job, and they did a great job. I also want to send out, sometimes you don't realize how great you have it until something's missing. And I think Murray would echo this. We got a great team with Bonnie, Murray, and Chaim, the three of us. Very grateful for our team here at the high school. Amanda's been, working with us, but a little bit far from us for a while. So when you're not always together for a little bit of time, you realize how great, or maybe not how some things aren't as great, but it's awesome what what we're doing here at the high school. It's exciting, and can't wait till you get back, Amanda.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, 3 makes things very efficient. 2, and you feel like you're juggling.
Yeah.
But we certainly miss you. We hope that your family recovers really quickly, and we'll see you very soon. Alex, always a pleasure to have you on. We're not going to say this might be your last time on our podcast, but we'll be, the next time you're on this podcast, you're probably going to be wearing probably a similar color. Youngstown, aren't they similar colors to us?
Exact same. Red,
And
black, and white.
we're definitely going to get you back on. But obviously, we have a lot of work to do because it's only January, and we're going to take you all the way to the finish line in May. Everyone that wants to come see the Hilltoppers, when's our next opportunity to go see you guys?
So we wrestled tonight at 6 o'clock. We're wrestling Lake Catholic. And then Saturday we have a tournament at home.
So when he says tonight, he actually meant Thursday, January 20th. I know many of you will see this on Friday morning. So that match will already be over against Lake Catholic. Alex, I just, got to get that public, service announcement out there.
They'll see this on Twitter. They'll hear it for today, but those from the Week in Reflection will see it tomorrow.
But Saturday, it's all day starting at 9 a.m. We got some top level wrestlers from around the Northeast Ohio coming to our barn, I should say. And Alex is going to have his hands full. So if you want to come and see Alex in action, Saturday will be the day right here in the barn.
And Alex, I'm really looking forward to seeing how you're going to get your graduation cap to stick on with your hair. Maybe some bobby pins or something.
Yeah, it's been a thought.
That's going to be a good day.
Well, he has 2 anchors with the 2 state championship rings. He can put them, as anchors to hold his cap on.
I could do that.
I mean, you'll be, you guys are going to have 2 of them. That'll be a lot different than last year's class and only had 1.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Alex, thanks for joining us. I know your arms are getting sore holding up your phone. Go have some lunch. Enjoy your open campus. We'll see you back. Are you back here at all for 7th period?
No, I got to come back for wrestling.
So you have 5 and 7 off.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Stay safe out there. I think it's a snow globe. A little snowing out there.
Yeah.
Have a great day. Mrs. Bondi, we're going to stop this recording, but we can stick on to talk some more. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Go Toppers.
Bye, guys. Go Toppers.
Go Toppers.